Hello everyone, I welcome you all to our Mental Hackathon Workshop. Today I would be gonna be your host for this evening and we would be exploring three innovative projects: Hamera, Agni Finance, NovaBits and Nova Seeds. From each of these projects we have got the representatives. We have got Shantanu from Hamera, we have got Zara from NovaBits and Nova Seed, and Asian from Agni Finance. These all three guys would be introducing us to their projects, what their vision is. We would like to thank Mental and our co-host HackQuest for helping us in organizing this live image session. Guys, as you would already be aware, Mental is already hosting an APEC hackathon and you all can participate in that. Now, I would just like you all to focus on our first speaker, and with that, I would like to call upon Shantanu from Hamera, and the stage is all yours. Shantanu, please.
Thank you so much, Jai, for the lovely introduction. Just quickly share my screen. Just give me a quick heads up if you guys can see my screen. Okay, sounds good.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Once again, thank you so much. It's lovely to be here. And yes, my name is Shantanu. I work as a developer relations lead at Hemera Protocol. We have like a few things that we'll be discussing and talking more about in detail about the data indexing side in the Web3 space. Before that, once again, my name is Shantanu Vishwanath. I lead developer relations at Hemera. This is my ex-handle, the Code Panda. Feel free to hit me a hi if you have any questions around data, blockchain, or anything related to indexing. I'm more than happy to assist. Next up, a quick agenda of what we'll be talking more about Hemera. One is we'll be deep diving into what protocol is, what account-centric indexing is, and finally the core of UDFs, which is user-defined functions. So if you're a developer, the whole section of how Hemera can transform the data extraction part from different set of blockchains, I think that could be a pretty essential one. So let's deep dive into and let's understand what Hemera is and what account-centric indexing is. So Hemera is a programmable indexing protocol that essentially focuses on account-centric indexing. So what does that really mean? So if you look at the other traditional indexers, they focus more on transaction and contract-based indexing. So if I am somebody who wants to extract data, let's just say, let me go back to the first slide. So we can see this, right? This is an ENS, which is called JSON.eth. Now, JSON.eth it itself is binded by an contract address or a wallet address. So if I want to know more about, let's say, how much you know assets that JSON holds in his wallet for a particular token, let's say ETH itself. So now that's a challenge again for a traditional indexer. So what they essentially do, they index the entire thing. They index the whole from the genesis, they index the contract, and based on that, they give you event logs, transactions, and whatnot, depending on what you need. And this comes with a cost because when we say indexing, the whole protocol itself involves a lot of indexing, involves a lot of RPC calls. Sometimes you might have to host your own Genesis node or your own RPC node. So it comes with a lot of cost, and as well as the query can become a trouble because you have chunks of data to search within. So this is where account-centric indexing comes into the picture. So we essentially focus more on account-based indexing. So you know let's imagine for instance that I want to know more about the data liquidity pool that I have invested in. So now that's a very granular level of data. And if I would have to do that in a traditional indexer, again I have to index the whole chain. The process becomes the same. Now with account centric indexing, the whole focus will lie upon my own account, which is, let's say, the coder panel E. So now this particular account or the ENS is binded again with a wallet address. I will write some chunk of data, some chunk of scripts, which is called UDFs, user-defined functions. And based on top of it, I can start putting out data, transactions, event logs, and whatnot based on my own requirements. So that's what Hemera does. It essentially simplifies the whole process of extraction of data on blockchain. One is big, and yeah. So before moving next, let's talk about some challenges with traditional blockchain data. So one is inefficiency. So as I said right previously, if you want to pull up data from any indexers, there is a lot of time involved, a lot of resources involved in accessing specific data. And when I say specific, it could be something very specific, as specific as pulling out liquidity pools for Shantanu, or what Shantanu has invested in, or let's for say what is the amount of LST that Vitalik holds. That's a very granular and specific data. To get that, you require like a lot of computing. Second, high costs. So average cost of running an indexer can range up to 20,000 to $10,000 a month, depending on the query, depending on the chain. And again, it's a very variable cost, but again, it's a very high cost for somebody who's just getting started. Next is complexity. So for every transactions, you might have to write your own SQL query. You might have to pull these data into an Excel sheets, index it, and you have a lot of things that you need to do when you have these kind of level of data. So how is ACI network, or the account-centric indexing network, is trying to solve this? One is ACI is itself a programmable indexing protocol. So programmable as in you can program, you can customize the query that you want and make it more specific to your use cases. You don't have to, just get entire data and play along with it. You can be as specific as you want and start the extraction process. Next is real-time insights. So, I mean, blockchain keeps on evolving, transactions keep on happening, right? So the entire process, the ACI network, it is real time. So the data that you fetch keeps on happening, and depending on the data or the blockchain that you're trying to. And we have like a set of built-in libraries, custom streamline on-chain data that we have already built out. We'll be talking more about the custom supported UDF list that's already out. Key benefits and some real-world use cases that people can build on top of. So one is blockchain explorers. There are a lot of blockchain explorers out there, right? I don't want to name them, but yes, there are tons of them. But to simplify the whole process, as you know that on-chain data in itself is like a plethora of data. So the simplification and more specification is very. So that's where you can use Hemera to build out your own customizable and more specific data-oriented blockchain explorers, asset portfolios, and identity solutions as well. These are the expanded Hemera ecosystem. So we have been working with some of the top blockchains, providing them with AI data services, official block explorers, so Linear, Tyco, Story, Mantle, and a few more of them. They have been like great partners for us. And yeah, we have been building out indexes and more customized solutions for a couple of chains as well. So let's deep dive into a bit more about what UDFs are. So we just had a look about what ACI network does, what are the use cases that you can build, the whole Hemera ecosystem. So next step, let's talk more about what UDFs really do. So UDFs are like a custom triggers that sit on top of the Hemera indexes. So they are essentially custom functions that you write within the Hemera indexer, and you run it parallelly with the indexer, so the data processing becomes very easy. And this can be tailored to your own specific use cases and or more complex queries that you want. Actually, it is minifying the whole process of writing SQL queries and then chunking out data from your database and then pulling your maybe a more scalable database. So the whole ETL stack or the ELT stack, you can easily put that up, simplify it up on your own for specific use cases and write the UDFs. So that's what UDFs are. So let's look more about talk more about how UDFs work in the Hemera ecosystem. So as we spoke, they are like the programmable logic for the Hemera indexer, and they help in extract real-time data for us. So some of two major key benefits. One is they simplify the process of querying the data with customized set of logic. And second, they efficiently process the data directly within the indexer network. So you don't have to pull up something very differently, and you don't have to exclusively integrate something. Everything is within the whole ecosystem or the piece of code. So yeah, and if you want to run it locally, you can run it locally. And I mean, it doesn't take a lot of resources as well. So you can even run on a minimized EC2 or any cloud services as well. So we have like a set of pre-built UDFs that you can explore. We have been building out some extensive use cases. So one of the real-time use cases that you can also explore, and it is free available right now, is a social scan. So social scan, it's an on-chain agent that we have built out. Pretty exciting use case. It is powered by the whole API network. So if you guys have some time, feel free to check it out, socialscan.io, and yeah, it's free to sign up. And we are adding more UDFs. The community is extensively building it. So as and when the UDFs are built out, we will be putting them out on our social scan platform. So this is the list of the supported UDFs. We have like a set of 10, 15 UDFs that we currently support, and we are actively expanding. So if you are a dev who's interested to build an UDF, feel free to reach out to me. My handle is thecoderpanda @thecoderpanda on Twitter. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to assist. So we're almost there to the end. But yeah, few components that are essentially required for building out a UDF. So one is models. So the models that you have, right? The data models, right? That is essential. That is pretty essential. I mean, it does act as a starting point when you start writing a UDF because you need to define how would your data look like, and that's what you get started with this model. Next up is data classes. So data classes essentially they support the input and output of the data types. So let's first say, where do you want to output the data? It could be JSON, it could be Postgres, or it could be any of your supported or favorite databases. So that's what output type is. And for input, what type of data that you want to look at? Is it event logs? Is it transactions? Or is it triggers? What it is? So depending on your use cases, you can define the type of data classes that you want to play along with it. Next is the job logic. So, the specific logic that you want to chunk out. So let's first say I want to track down top 5 token pairs on Uniswap and their liquidity pool and TVLs. So these are the job logics, or these are the specific logics that I want to play along with it, or pull up the data from from Ethereum mainnet, top 5 token pairs. So I can write this logic in job logic or this particular file, and yeah, spinning all of these three along with the indexer can do your job quite easily. So yeah, 4 steps, and you should be good to go to write your own ODS. One is again getting started with data class, writing your own models, writing a job logic, and finally deploying the UDF and running the indexer. So it's a simple 4-step process. We have also written an extensive guide to build out dashboards, use cases. We'll drop that as well in the chat so you guys can check it out. Yeah, there are a few more use cases that I just wanted to throw some light on. One is, of course, we spoke about the Explorer, so won't dive in more into it. But yeah, on-chain social graphs. So, with the trend of AI agents, with the trend of social networking websites, that has been happening lately. Social graph can play a very big role. So if you see Faircaster, if you see Lens, these are some of the most, and even Blue Sky as well. Most of the trending things are happening on these spaces right now, specifically for websites. So social graphs plays like a big game, and frames by Farcaster trended a lot. I think 6 months back in around March and April. So that was one of the great examples how social graph, or the graph itself, the image graph itself, how can it be utilized to build more extensive applications. So on the same contrary, you can use UDF to track down wallet interactions, transactions that have happened across the social graph, and build your own dashboards, or build your own recommendation engine, etc. Next up is DeFi portfolio structures. So depending on the protocol that you want to keep an eye on, or depending on things that you want to focus on specific to DeFi, you can aggregate data from multiple DeFi protocols to create more sleek and clean portfolio tracker. And finally, the another crazy thing that we do as well is we provide some set of predefined APIs, which comes packed up with our indexer. You can use those APIs. I mean, of course, you can edit it. It's based on top of Fast API, so you can edit it. You know, put your own set of queries that you want to pull up from your indexer, and yeah, you can utilize these pre-built APIs. So you don't have to do the heavy lifting of writing a custom API if you're building an application on top. So finally, let's talk about contributions to the Hemera indexer. So Hemera indexer itself, I mean, we have like a set of documentation that we have built out, but we encourage the developer community, the broader community, to help us build out more extensive documentation. And if you have some feedback, if you have something specific that you want to highlight, feel free to put it up on our documentation site. We'll drop that as well in the chat. So feel free to have a look. Your feedback is much, much, much appreciated. Testing units. So if you're somebody who loves testing different set of protocols, playing along with it, please feel free to create your own unit test and raise a PR. We'll be more than happy to pull up about if you have built out exciting unit tests and use cases for us. Yeah, and finally, some performance issues. If you have any bottlenecks, or if you have any issues that you're facing while running the Hemera index, feel free to let me know or the team know, and we'll take your recommendations in. Use cases. So if you have been building use cases, and if you feel like Hemera can be a great addition to your data requirements, feel free to integrate it and feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist on that front as well. Some really important resources. One is the Discord link. Feel free to join. We have the set of documentations. It's available at docs.thehemera.com. And the official GitHub repository, which is used to run the indexer. And the whole magic happens here. Finally, thank you so much for having me here. It was wonderful speaking to the whole audience of OpenBuild and the whole entire community. Once again, thank you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I'll be happy to take it up. And if you just want to reach out to me, say hi, or if you want to get on a call and discuss more about Hemera and how we can support you, feel free to reach out to me at the Coder Panda on Discord or either on Twitter as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shantanu. That was really insightful. The way you simply explained about the real world use cases as well. I guess we have a lot of developers, so you would be really receiving a lot of DMs. I expect that. Let's see how it goes. Thank you so much for your explanation and your presentation. Thank you. Next up, we have Zara from Nova Bits and Nova Seed. Zara, the stage is all yours, please.
Hi guys, thank you so much. Let me share my screen. All right, so pleasure meeting you and thank you for having us today. Okay, I think now it's good to go. All right, so thank you so much for having us, Nova Seeds and Nova Beats today here. I'm Zara, the Chief Marketing Officer at the project. And I want to give a little intro of our background. So we're an innovation in the decentralized trading solutions. So in plain words in Web3, which is DEX, and our backers include Mantle Hackathon Fund, Bybit, Bybit Web3, Hashkey, OKX, and Catison, and others, among others. And we're very excited to join Mantle ecosystem in our very initial roadmap in very early this year. So the team background came originally from in the centralized exchange, including Bybit and Binance, Huobi, and others. So we do have deep relationships and connections like back and history in this space for a while. And we're very pleasure and glad to join Mantle ecosystem as a whole. So what we do here is we help to bring innovate the projects from wherever they're doing to Mantle. And since everybody is very aware, Mantle has been having very good performance in the past cycles, and we've been also seeing a lot of new milestones and developments on chain. And everybody is very aware. Mantle is a very steady and stable project, and specialized in the market cap. We're still trending very high in the top 50, 60 during the past years. So we're very honored to join as a very key, crucial part in the ecosystem and bring over the project. So now I think everybody's gonna be questioning like, there's a lot of DEX and IDO platforms, Launchpad. So what differentiate us? So I think everybody will be very excited to hear about this. So we've seen the progress and performance and the style of the past few years of Mantle ecosystem. We've seen tons of different narratives and different kinds of projects. And this time in 2024, we're seeing a super cycle of meme. So I know it's a very debatable ecosystem. Not everybody likes meme, but there are some people hate it. But we cannot deny it's a fact that it's ongoing a very trendy topic and hyped narrative in this cycle. So this is our new goal and mission, and to bring more main projects onto Mantle ecosystem. So this is what we're doing. And then the question arises, how do we select, since there are hundreds of thousands of new memes on monthly basis, or I would say now maybe on weekly or daily basis, there are so many going on, and the life cycle might not even last more than a couple of hours. So how do we find a gem meme, let's say sustainable, and that ones that really be contributing to the Mantle ecosystem and we can foresee a future with a lot of progress and developments in the future. So I would just cut to the chase and discuss about what we have and what we're really primarily looking at. So first comes to the question, how do we find it and what do we offer? So if you can see on my presentation, let me scroll down here. Yeah, so this is I would say it's a very innovative features that we developed on our platform, which is the liquidity merchant operations. Let's make it, put it in blank words, is liquidity aggregation. So everybody knows liquidity, everybody knows aggregation, and we all know for a fact meme coin doesn't have much liquidity or very gorgeous liquidity out there if it's just a random project. So this is a new feature we developed. So we trended through the market and community, and then we have a two different categories of the liquidity aggregation, which is initiative and passive. So when it comes to the initiative battle, and the meme coin will be selected that themselves like initially according to the meme index. We call that MTI in our own category, and we will match two different projects or a couple of different projects together in terms of the liquidity merge. And the second is a passive. So the passive is when MTI, the meme index, is lower than a certain range. So the platform, our platform will automatically mark it as a, let's call it trash meme, and then it will be automatically be merged with other, I would say, lower tier meme as well. So this is how we're developing a consensus together according to what like community would like to see or not. So on this, based on this mechanism, then we will find out what kind of meme is actually according to the appetite of the community and do the initiative or the passive merge and let it roll. So the second will be, as I mentioned, so meme coin is all about community. So it's about the consensus of the community, what they like, what they don't like, what they hate, what they love. And we all know like GME from last cycle, YOLO, you all live once, and it all came out. So I would say, especially with the new Gen Z and the new generation, it's a culture now. So it's not just it's more than a consensus. Now it's a culture in their blood. They want to have something they believe spiritually or as even as a religion. They want to believe something that beyond a existing government or political system. They want something in their own culture gene. So that's all our system and mechanism is created upon, which is create a consensus. And to move forward this consensus, we will have the voting process on the platform. So the whatever main project and team, they launch their own idea, we call it creation idea, and then the community will start the voting process. So the winning ones will be of course automatically elected and get into the fundraising process. So that in plain words, whoever, whenever, wherever, you can launch your own meme. And if your idea and culture is been and agreed and supported by the community, you get your vote, you get your votes, and you get into our ideal platform fundraising. And then the next, then it goes on to the DEX. So on the DEX, we are also supported by, we are the first project supported by OKX on OS system, which is their own DEX and aggregator. And we're doing vice versa, the same for the OKX, and Hashkey will coming up as well since they're our investor. So this is our new feature. I would say it's an differentiative feature that we have comparing to different other DEX, which is if you trade it here on Nova, you will be this at the same time have exposure on OKX and Hashkey and the other DEX we're working together partnering with. And of course, the trading volume can be boosted alongside. So the last, I would say, in the selection mechanism will be we call that researcher system. So everybody's very familiar with venture capital coin from the past few cycles. So it usually comes with very, very high valuation, usually but fake high, because they might go $100 billion on the market on the TGE date, but then they collapse to shit because the venture capital or the investor want to cash out, they run away. So that's why in this cycle, the community are more in favor of those ones that are not controlled by the large capital. They want to have their own liberty and freedom to choose whatever. So based on that, all in all, my point here is that will be a very different researcher category spectrum compared to a normal venture capital different category. We would say GameFi, AI, pain, the sci-fi, all this, they will be different because those projects, of course, you got to look at the tech team themselves, the dev, developer, and the product, the landscape, the fundamental of the project, the funding, the community, and how's their engagement rate. But no, meme doesn't care about all that. All we need is just community. We need great volume. We need great traction in the community. So that's another point I want to highlight. So that's the researcher mechanism that's different from the normal venture capital coin that we're familiar with. So here comes to my second topic here today is how we gonna merge or how we're going to teleport more, as I mentioned, sustainable or promising meme coin into the Mantle ecosystem and boost and vice versa, how to help and improve the future of mental ecosystem and how we can put a little bit fire or and extra power and engine and to move this ecosystem forward, because we are seeing what's going on, let's say people are very familiar, the big memes likes to go Solana, big memes likes to go base, maybe the other option would be BSC, since the BSC is supporting them officially and they launched their own incubation and incubation project program. So as I mentioned very in the beginning, initially in my presentation, which is we are very familiar about what Mantle does and how it's been performing the past few years and what's the milestones and extra. We are very familiar and remarkable high token value locked, which is TVL on chain of Mantle, and liquidity, which is the Mantle user are very in favor of the on-chain staking rewards or on-chain stability of the Mantle chain. So that actually is it is like very much different from the current meme hype future now, which is very short term, or let's say a very hyped based on gene and culture difference pushed a community driven meme culture in this case. So what we're going to do is we're going to would say complement each other from between mental ecosystem with the external new rising meme sector that's going so viral in this cycle. So meme has first short life cycle, second fast explosion, third strong liquidity conversion rate. So based on all those, we will have so there are two things we can do here. So first, we can have the mental original ecosystem users a project to launch your own meme with a very comprehensive tools that our platform offer, which is the launching your own meme, trading, and perpetual. So the second thing here is to activate and boost the users' activity on inside the mental ecosystem. So from where they're just sitting down there waiting for the on-chain rewards and staking rewards to being actively trading or actively doing something on the mental chain. So that's our whole initiative and the final goal, and to boost the maybe even higher TVL and a higher trading volume and higher user bases and monthly and active users. So this is what we're the whole thing about. And of course, and using the Mantle brand and its own feature and advantage, we're attracting external project and deploying on Mantle, and then launch their own launch the assets there. So all in all I want is just to emphasize on how Mantle current ecosystem here is for the staking rewards. So the users now are facing the problem of maybe they don't have much investment options on chain. So for attracting more assets, attracting more TVL, attracting more users, and then to let's say maximize what we can offer to the users and what they can do around on Mantle. So meme will be a very good path in and using the platform's advantages, and then use the mechanism category selection categories that I just mentioned, is to highlight on what we can find potential meme, but not really shitty scamming meme, but those ones that can actually do something and boost the user activity and transaction on chain, and then bring them over to a mental ecosystem and to check from here what there's more that we can do about. So this is the whole point and goal of Nova Beats and what we're trying to do. So, and the last, what I want to highlight is this: we are very aware we're in the middle of the bull market. Maybe let's say it's the middle point, and it's actually a very interesting debate and how long this will last. And I believe the projects we have today on the hackathon and the audience that's listening, either you're new to crypto or either you've been here for a couple cycles, and we're very aware of the difference of this cycle. We're seeing a new Bitcoin all-time high. Even before the halving, we're seeing a crypto-friendly candidate of presidential in the United States were selected. We're seeing a Federal Reserve of new option of Bitcoin might be considered put into the bill and that been approved in the US. So we're seeing a completely whole different landscape in this cycle. And then we're all seeing the Bitcoin is doing very well. It's been 5-6x from the bottom of 18K. And then we're not, but however, we're not seeing like that much same hype or performance from the last cycle in terms of different categories of gaming or DeFi or something. So Nova Bits, we're still a DeFi project. So because all of the main features we're adding on, but after all, we're a DEX, we're a DEX platform. We're helping the projects to launch their own assets. We're helping the platform to raise their own funds to trade on our on our site. But we're still a DeFi project. So I would say the main key thing here as all the audience or entrepreneurs or builders in the space is how we can always move along with the new era, with the new time. That is, it's completely different landscape compared to 2014, 15. And 3 cycles ago, or the first ETF we ever got in CME back in 2017, the futures. And then one crypto as a whole asset class is becoming to mainstream. So my point here is just to highlight on we don't have to see a new sector such as meme as a evil being, or it's definitely a non-utility token as it doesn't have its own meaning because everything has its own meaning in this planet when it comes to the existence. So what we're trying to do here as a DeFi project, providing the DEX and trading and fundraising platform ideal is to how to combine what we're currently doing. That's very actually people knowing a long time in crypto would be very easy to understand and combine it with what's going on and that's what's happening new in the future in the space that is very viral meme space. We can see our pump the farm they might launch hundreds of thousands new tokens a day. Maybe most of them died in a day. So what I talked about today, the first topic of how we can select really good initiative, innovative meme sections, and then how we can combine them into the mental ecosystem and how can we contribute and return to the ecosystem and bring it to the next level is our main major focus. So and that's all I have to share today. And thank you so much again, host, for having us here. And we look forward if you're a main project, if you're a main team, if you're a user, if you have your own community, if you have everything you need, if I'm sure you have a lot of questions too. And if you want more knowledge about how to build on top of Mantle as a meme, and or you have further plan to list on centralized exchange, as that's our also categories, and how to get your fundraising and ideal based on your current or the future main project. So welcome to DMS and on the Twitter, and we will be here happy to help you. So that's all I have to share today, and thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Zara. Thank you. And I would say I am one of those who are quite skeptical about the memes and meme tokens, but seeing I do believe they can act as a entry point for the Web2 users or maybe any user who is new to the Web3 industry. And you are completely right. We should not see them as a villain because they are here to stay and would definitely be helpful. Thank you so much. And next up, we have Asian from Agni Finance. Asian, the stage is all yours.
Okay, hello everyone. It's so good to be connecting with everyone here on this call. It's also exciting to hear project representatives speak and share the exciting things they are doing in the crypto space. So my name is Ishan Dixon, and today I have the honor of representing Acme Dex, one of the most exciting new decentralized exchanges in the DeFi space. So thanks to the team at OpenBuild for hosting us today. So for those who might not be familiar with AgniDex, we are an advanced decentralized exchange platform built to provide traders with a seamless, secure, and efficient trading experience across multiple blockchains. So in this space today, we get to see a lot of people coming on board the crypto space. Just like you said, we have a lot of Web2 people onboarding the crypto space daily, People are getting more aware of crypto. People are getting more interested in crypto. So I believe like one of the focal points for every crypto brand, every crypto project, just like Agridex, is to help these guys have like an easy and swift onboarding process into their brand and into their project as well. So I'll be doing a quick overview about Agri. So Agridex is actually designed with innovating trading features to cater to both novice and experienced traders. So our features, our platform isn't just targeting Web3 traders or experts and the rest of that. We are actually interested in catching for novices in Web2 builders or those that don't develop any interest in crypto generally to help them maximize our platform. And so what we're going to do that is by our focus on our low fees, high liquidity, and enhanced security. And so we are creating a platform where users can trade efficiently and without giving up control of their assets as well. So the key features of AgriDex, number one, we have our advanced order types. In this feature, we offer a variety of order types, like including limit orders, in limit orders, market orders, and stop orders as well. Now, these options actually give our traders greater flexibility and control over their own trades. Then secondly, we have our cross-chain compatibility. So AmiDex allows you to trade across multiple blockchains. So we're like EVM compatible, meaning that you can trade assets from different ecosystems like seamlessly. So we have a feature that enables traders to easily navigate across various ecosystems and also trade their assets without going through a lot of stress. Then thirdly, we have our non-custodial security. So being non-custodial, AgriDex actually ensures that our users remain in full control of their funds at all times. We do not store the funds, actually. We just significantly reduce the risks for our users. So we don't actually like store the funds for our users or we put them at the risk of that. Our platform just gives them that avenue to trade and then helps them to like store their funds at their own convenience in their own wallets. Then we have our enhanced liquidity and low fees. So what we've done is that we've optimized our liquidity pools to ensure that traders can execute large orders with very minimal slippage. And we also offer very low fees, making it cost effective to trade. So AliDex is actually like enhancing its platform, reducing costs where we ought to, boosting our features and our services to help our traders have maximum experience and fun while trading as well. So in recent times, we actually launched a new feature called the Boost Mode, and the Boost Mode leverages trading by 1000x. So one of our newest features, which is the Boost Mode, allows traders to take advantage of extreme leverages up to 1000x on major pairs like BTC and BTC USDT pair and the ETH USDT pair. Also, this feature is like perfect for traders who want to maximize their potential gains from relatively small market movements. So, for example, in boost mode, you can start trading with as little as 10 USDT in margin and position up to 10,000 USDT. Then, in addition, Boost Mode offers zero slippage for BTC USDT pair and only 0.01% slippage for ETH slash USD pair, meaning that even in a volatile market conditions, your trades remain precise and actually effective. And other key features of the boost mode in which we've implemented is that with leverage ranging from 250x to 1000x, traders can actually amplify their trading positions. Secondly, traders can set their like they can set their take profits from 0% to 100%, giving them complete control over their own trading strategies. Then lastly, if a position reaches minus 85% loss, it will automatically be liquidated, which helps protect traders from massive losses. You know, most times as traders, we could get carried away in the trading experience or in the trading process. So handling debt is like trying to reduce the losses in which traders encounter whilst trading. Then now the next is what's next for admin? What's or what else do we have in mind? How are we moving from here? What's our target? Since we see that the year is like coming to an end, and we are kicking off a new year soon. So first, we are constantly improving admin decks. So in the future, we plan to integrate like even more blockchains, extend our feature sets, and create like more advanced trading tools. So Arimedex is actually looking at integrating with small blockchain brands, making our trading platform more compatible for our traders to actually trade on the platform. And with this process of integrating more blockchain brands, it will actually enable our traders get more familiar. Like our traders that are more familiar with trading with a particular kind of blockchain can seamlessly and easily integrate as well. Then also we are working on a more user-centric like initiatives, so such as increasing our educational content and creating an even more engaging community experience. Personally, I'm like a very big fan of community. I always believe in the power of community and the fact that the community is actually like the first brand or the first brand or like of a brand or like of a project. The community is like the face of the project, and we don't take our communities lightly. We don't take our community members lightly. So at every single point in time, we are constantly coming up with initiatives that help our community members get more familiar with trading and dexes as well. And then also we are implementing content that would help like Web2 users to better understand the trading atmosphere of the crypto space, and also how to simplify tradings for them as well. So our goal is to empower traders at all levels to take the full advantage of DeFi. So DeFi is actually like very, very broad, very global. So what we are doing is that we are making sure that we enable our users, not just our users, we enable Web3 lovers and traders as well to fully harness the potentials in DeFi. Yeah, so that's it actually. I want to say like thank you very much for giving us the avenue and the stage to present. And yeah, it's good to hear from you guys.
Thank you so much, Asian. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Next up, we have our Q&A session. And for moving up to the Q&A session, let's see what questions do we have got. Okay. So the first question we have here is for Shantanu. It's when handling sensitive data, how does Hemera ensure it's safe? This is super important, in it?
Yeah, for sure. So security and data efficiency are one of the key pillars that we essentially focus on. So Hebera is closely working with Eigenlayer, and we're building out an AVS for validating the data that is indexed. So there is a Stanford review as well that has been recently put up by our CEO Arthur. So I can share it as well. You guys can just check it out as well. So which actually talks in depth about how we are leveraging the whole validated services to make sure the data is streamlined, secured, and efficient as well.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. It would be really great if you could share that link. I will share with
Yeah.
the our audience. Okay, so next up we have a question here for Agni. How does Agni achieve better performance with its concentrated liquidity? Can you walk us through the technical magic behind it? So this question is directed towards Asian. Asian, would love to hear your answer on it.
Okay, so please can you come again with the question?
Sure, I can repeat. How does Agni achieve better performance with its concentrated liquidity? Can you walk us through the technical magic behind it?
Okay. So I'm just going to say something real quick. It's actually a great question. So firstly, like liquidity is one of the pillars of our platform. AgriDex aggregates liquidity across different sources to actually ensure a minimal slippage, even on larger trades as well. So our liquidity pools are like optimized to make sure that orders are executed like swiftly and with as little impact on the market as possible. And this is actually like critical for professional traders like who need to execute like large trades without like significant slippage. So actually, that is like how we achieve that.
Okay, okay. So next up, we have a question here for NovaBits. So this is directed towards Zara. How does NovaBits leverage multi-chain networks to boost platform performance, and how does it sync up with Mental's ecosystem? Can you please throw some light on it?
Sorry, Jake, I missed the first half.
Yeah, sure. I'll repeat it. No worries. How does NovaBits leverage multi-chain networks to boost platform performance? And how does it sync up with the Mental's ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. So we all know Mantle is EVM chain compatible, so it's actually very easy to deploy on top of Mantle. And of course, the journey never stop. When it comes with EVM, you're not stopping at one chain. You're deploying on multiple chain, including the other EVM includes BSC, Ethereum, or others. I heard Near is even having their own EVM on as a layer two. So I think it's actually a great thing. So for sure, and when you take a first look at it, it might be a competition. As each chain wants their own, each chain want your token to deploy on them, like as at least the most percentage of your token. So otherwise, why would they want? Why would we give you support? Why would we give you grant? Why would we have such a deep partnership with you? It's very understandable. But if we look at a more macro perspective, which is blockchain is coming from a very minority group to a much more majority audience now, which we're seeing the ETF, as I mentioned, Trump's election and everything. So we need more mass adoption. So when it comes to the globalization or internet of the world, as the in the Web 2, it always comes to the final point, which is multiple, multi-country, multi-international. It comes as a whole. So we don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. So when it comes to how we can help to thrive into mental ecosystem, then the answer is very clear to see. You can always interact with different chains, and you can attract use all the time different users from different chain and have them have a different look on the mental. I'm sure mental is still like doing very well on this is very stable staking ecosystem, but it will be always great to attract new users. As I mentioned, even meme sector is very debatable, but well, if we have the eyes of those meme lovers, and it's a massive, massive volume, and why not? It will be always a great plus one for the mental ecosystem. So that would be my answer. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And thank you so much for this elaborative response. Thank you. Okay, so Shantanu, we have another question for you. Can Hamara's data extraction work across different chains? Like, what kind of scenarios does it shine in?
Okay, 100%. So one is we essentially right at this point in time, we focus more on EVM chains. We are still working to expand more on Solana and the other ecosystems. But yeah, most of the EVM chains are what we support as of now. So it's as simple as changing your RPC URL and chain ID, and you should be good to go. Second thing, so and the other recommendation from my side is that we have been active on a couple of mainnet indexers that we have already indexed, like Tycho, Mania, Mantle, Morph, and a couple of them. So feel free to use them as well because the support will be more quicker since we have already indexed the entire chain. So yeah, whole in all, couple of top-notch chains that you can already use, which we have already indexed and which we are partnered with, and yeah, the other EVM ecosystem as well, since we are even compatible.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So guys, as we are running out of time, so we'll just take one more question right here. Let's see. Okay, this seems an interesting one, and it's directed towards all of you. I would like to hear all of your views on it. What do you guys think about mixing blockchain with other fields like AI or gaming? Is it the next big thing or just a nice to have? Like, there's quite a lot of hype is going around blockchain X AI right now. And how do you all three? I would like to start with Shantanu, you only. What are your views on this mixing with blockchain and all? How do you see it, and where does the future leads to?
So, I have a little interesting take on this. So, one is I think they both go hand in hand for sure. But, hosting your own AI models, hosting your own data sets on top of a decentralized network, I don't think that's scalable in any way. That is my take. On the other hand, if you see AI agents that are popping up lately, I think these are like the next big thing, and
Yeah, right.
they need data and everything. So because we have been working on an AI agent as well. I mean, I can't really name it, but yeah, we have been chunking out a lot of data, and the results are pretty phenomenal. So the reason I'm saying this is because it even helps internally to do that, and as well as externally when people use those AI agents. So, and yeah, I mean, it is an expecting thing according to me, but I'm not sure what what what's in for tomorrow. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, got it, got it. I would have liked it very really much if you would have revealed something on our that would be an exclusive thing for us. But no worries. Thanks for throwing some light on it, on your views, sharing your views. Okay, so next up, what are your views about it, Alex? On this, how do you feel, Zara? So how do you feel about it?
I feel this I just answered the previous question, which is we will always need new users, new mass adoption from different sector, even in the blockchain and outside, especially outside. I've actually been constantly talking with an AI project in Decipher since it's a new section. I mean, we've heard of AI for so many years, but we see a final boost in is finally in this cycle. And then all the common thing is we don't want just the volume in the Web3. We will always want to gain the user from the Web2. Like for example, someone sent me this OOP ring, which is like for the health band on your arm, and they have like billions of users in the world, and they have absolutely nothing to do with Web3. So imagine we can emerge just 10% of that user into the Web3, and how big we can have in the DPaying section and AI compared to what it is right now. So this is my take. I think it's a fine. It will eventually gradually get into that point, but it will take time. Like we seen Ethereum gets where it is, didn't through just one cycle. It took it almost 4 cycles to be where it is. So it will take time, but maybe faster now, since now we're in more eyes of a mainstream. We're and finally on a recognized asset class on traded on ETF. So it will be faster, but it will still take time. That would be my take.
Interesting, interesting. 1 year back, I was doing some research around this and found a few articles and all how blockchain X AI can work. And I also feel that okay, it will take time, but it can be a new sector for sure. Anything you would like to add on to it, Asian?
Oh yeah, sure, most certainly. I think like just recently, I actually got a bit integrated with an AI like blockchain kind of brand. Um, firstly, from my personal perspective, the first thing I have to say is AI is actually like a technology that is going to unite blockchain, like it's going to unite Web3 and like Web2 individuals because AI is not just unique to Web3, it's not just unique to the blockchain. It's actually out there for like every user
Right,
to
right.
have access to.
Yes, yes.
So blockchain integrating AI is like a move, like in a positive step. And what stands Web3 out from Web2 is that Web3 is always like a step ahead in the future. So moving on ahead to start integrating AI is that positive step into the future. And the fusion of like blockchain and AI, though it is still in its like early stages, but like its potentials are like very, very enormous. And together like they can like unlock new efficiencies and create transparent systems and like drive innovation like across a wide range of industries. From centralized AI models to AI powered blockchain networks, and I actually feel like the possibilities are limitless. Though, like I said before, it is still like in its early stages. But it's interesting to see and to note that blockchain brands are actually taking that positive steps into AI. So I believe that it's going to be massive and it's going to be very, very inductive for both Web2 users as well.
Interesting take, interesting. Thank you all the speakers for joining us. So as we are just on time, I would like to thank Metal. I would like to thank all the speakers for joining. You really shed some light on your unique projects. It was really nice to have you with us. We would also like to give a special thanks to HackQuest, co-host, and see you guys. Thank you so much, the fantastic audience, for joining us. You guys were really amazing. Due to lack of time, I could not pick each one of yours question, but let's keep them for some another time. And you guys can definitely connect with our speakers, and you can just directly DM them. So with this, I would like to just wrap up and thank you so much. Also, guys, you can make sure to check our website openbuild.xyz, where we have hosted plenty of courses. You can definitely check them out. You can just upskill yourselves. And with that, thank you so much. Bye bye. See you. Thank you all.
All right, bye. Have a nice day.